and welcome to Tales from the Tips. I'm DA, joined by 15-year Tour Caddy Mick Middlemo. We're just a couple of guys that love to talk about the game of golf, both inside and outside the ropes, but we come at it from a different perspective. Mick!
Yes, sir.
You look great, buddy. How are you doing?
I look as good as I can look at 7:30 in the morning.
It is a little early. How many Diet Cokes are you in so far?
No, I'm drinking water today.
What has happened to you since you moved?
Oh, there's no Diet Coke in the fridge.
There's no Diet Coke in the fridge. That makes sense.
And we don't have a car. And Dad and I are carless at the moment.
Dad doesn't have a car at the moment, so it's wherever
No,
your
it's
little.
at the mechanics. It's at the mechanics. So we're just we're getting a little overhaul. It hasn't been overhauled since 2019, so it needs a little work.
It needs a little. She needs some TLC, is what you're saying.
Well, it's only got 40,000 kilometers on it. It's a 2008, so it really doesn't have many miles on it.
Oh, she just needs a little tune-up.
Yeah, apparently when the mechanic opened up the, I'll call it the bonnet. We'll call it the hood. I have to assimilate where I am back in Australia. There was about 15 big old spiders in there that have been hanging in there and hanging out for a few years. So I'm kind of glad that we took it up there because I'm not a big spider person.
Oh, well, I remember from the last time you were back home, you and spiders are not friends.
We don't get along.
Okay, here's what we're going to do. Before we get into how you're doing and how you settled back in, we've got a lot of things to talk about. You've been off for 2 weeks. You've, with this move back, we had Alex Urban from the Tour Championship who filled in for you week 1. James Porcello, our chief operating officer from La Cima Restaurant Group, filled in for you last week during Masters Week. Twin Peaks. Yes, that's right. I am at Twin Peaks. Speaking of, I'm looking at a massive screen with Ludwig Oberg leading the way at -8.
Normally you pick him. Well, he won't win. He doesn't do very well on the 4th rounds.
Right. Okay. So are you ready for this? Here's the rundown.
Yeah. Okay. You have notes. I don't.
We're going to, right. I've got a lot of notes. We've got a lot to talk. I don't think we're going to get through everything we need to talk about because I even have some DMs on our social. People wanted to know your feedback on what happened with Tiger Woods. You have not been on since the Tiger accident.
No.
So I'm going to hold that.
Okay. Hold.
But we're going to discuss this. We're going to discuss, obviously, what transpired in Augusta last week. Rory back-to-back wins in Augusta. Sergio's disgusting behavior. Where does this put Rory in terms of European greats and his place in men's golf overall? We're going to discuss the RBC Heritage at Harbortown, one of your favorite tournaments, favorite golf courses. I'm going to get some insight from you. You did a great job last year breaking down the golf course. They made a little bit of redesign, some tweaks to the greens. I'm going to get your opinion on that. And then I'm not sure if it came across there down in Australia, but LIV is in some trouble, Mick.
Yes, I don't think that's the good name for that golf course, people anymore, because I don't think it's going to be that for much longer.
Oh, well, we'll touch on all of that because there's been a lot of back and forth. He said, she said, not true, that's true type of stuff. So we'll get into that. And we're going to talk about if LIV goes away, what does this mean for the likes of the DP World Tour, the Korn Ferry Tour, the Asian Tour, Latin American Tour, and of course the PGA. So, sir,
I'm ready.
Are you ready?
Let's do this. I'm going to drink my water.
This, sir, is in honor of you.
That's me, by the way.
Let's grip and rip it.
Another beautiful cold Michelob Ultra.
Ice cold 28.9 degrees here at the Twin Peaks here in Kennesaw, Georgia. Okay, we're going to start with Masters.
Yep.
without you and I talking about any of this, I want your initial gut reaction when that final putt dropped and Rory went back to back.
I loved it. Loved every minute of it. I wished it had been Justin Rose, but I'm a big Rory fan, so I think he's a class act. So I'm very, 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 very happy for him. He's playing with a freedom now that, as you can tell, I think the monkey's off his back with winning last year. That who knows, he could go on and win 4 or 5 Masters now.
Yeah, I want to get into that a little bit. Let's first start with Rory's final round. Obviously, massive lead after Friday night, 6 strokes. All of a sudden, that disappears on Saturday. Saturday, the course played extremely tough. He and Cam Young shared the lead after 54 holes. What walk me through when you were, because I know you stayed up to watch this. I know you did not go to bed.
No, I went to bed. I just got up early.
You got up early.
The leaders didn't tee up. The leaders didn't tee off until 4:30 a.m.
4:30 a.m. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. Your takeaways from the round, and when did you think that A, Rory's winning this thing, and B, how nervous were you for him on 18?
I didn't think he was going to win it at one stage there. On the front nine, when he was sort of all over the place, and as badly as he'd been driving the ball all week, I thought he was going to get himself into trouble. But testament to the way he is. I mean, he dug deep, and played 4 under in the last 13 holes or whatever it was, and he was grinding it out. But he does that well, and he very, very reminds me of Tiger a little bit, how Tiger used to play. That if he got into trouble, he could still make play. He could still make fours. He could get himself out of trouble, and he reminded me very much of the way Tiger used to play at the Masters.
Yeah,
And again, I thought he was home across the line. I probably would have hit 3 wood off 18. I probably wouldn't have hit driver. I think 3 would have been a smarter play because driver could only bring in a huge amount of trouble, which it did. And
right.
by the way, that second shot he hit, that thing must have been hooking sideways from where he had to get it into that bunker where he did, and it was a horrible lie in that bunker too. That was a hell of a golf shot he hit with that second shot. It's a little bit underrated. I don't think people are really talking about how well he hit that second shot there, because everyone's talking about how he was going to hit it up the 10th fairway, which he did, but he hooked it around the 10th fairway to get it back into that bunker. It was an amazing golf shot.
I don't know if they could talk about it because the cameras lost it. They didn't even realize where it went.
I'm going to say it wasn't the best coverage I've ever seen of the Masters.
No, okay. I'm glad I don't have that in my notes. But let's talk on that, because I agree. I felt like the coverage was not as good this year on the TV broadcast as it has been in years past. I think it's too separated now. When CBS has full control, I thought they've always done a great job. Jim Nantz, Trevor Immelman calling it great. This year it was like who was where, what, when, how,
and it was very disjointed, and the camera work wasn't. And I don't think the camera work was as good as I've ever seen at the Masters.
Well, I mean, look at what happened on 18. I mean, you didn't even see Cam Young, and Rory. You get the final shot is the back of him putting it in.
Yes. Some of the angles they were showing when people were putting were like, you can't even see the hole. Why are they showing it from ground level? Yeah, it was. I was like, why are they doing this? Yeah, I wasn't thrilled by the coverage.
I want to go back. Here's a couple of things with Rory, and this was in my notes that I kind of was taking as I was watching the round. I thought Harry Diamond did a great job. As many times as people have bashed on Harry, and you and I have been tough on Harry on this podcast as well, he managed Rory through that round very well, and I think Harry really earned his 10%, 11, 12, and 13. He backed Rory down on 12. Rory then turns around, hits that beautiful shot. It was set right at the bunker.
Best shot of the tournament.
Amazing shot. And that's kind of, I think when he rolled that putt in on 12, I think that's when I said that he's got this. Scotty was still playing really well, but Scotty was already, I think, through 15. he was watching Hung Tung Lee knock it around, and whatever happened to.
He made a lazy 10.
Yeah, yeah. I think
But
that would.
he did have food poisoning too, though. So the poor kid.
Well, that I have. We're gonna get up to Hao Tung Lee. That he was one of my surprises of the tournament in a good way.
Mm.
Minus playing paying for food poisoning one night, and even in his press conference, what he said.
Yes.
But I want to finish with Rory. Let me ask you this question because I do want to get to where is his place in golf now is. I've heard too many guys talking about where he is at as the best European player. I think you still have to be very careful with that. I get it. He still has another 12, 14 years to play before he turns 50. You got a couple of Seve Ballesteros and Sir Nick Faldo have a lot to say in this mix. Sir Nick has more wins. Seve has more wins on the DP World Tour. Um, Candidly, Rory has more, race to Dubai's. But I don't think that was as much of a focus for Seve back then either.
And he has more wins on the PGA Tour as well. So
More wins on the PGA Tour. So let me ask you this question. And I think you said it a little bit earlier. You said you may see him with 4, even possibly 6 Masters jackets.
I wouldn't say
Where do you
6 Masters, probably 4.
where do you think he finishes with total majors?
Double figures.
You think he gets to double figures?
Oh yeah, 100%. I
Is it going to be
wouldn't be
mostly?
surprised if it was 11 or 12.
You think 11 or 12? I heard some idiot today on a golf talk show say he's going to match Jack.
You know, I doubt that, but it also wouldn't surprise me.
So you would think that in the next 14 years he's going to have 12 majors.
It wouldn't surprise me. He's that good. And now he's playing with that reckless abandon because he's won them all now. He can play with the freedom that a lot of other people don't have now because a lot of people are putting pressure on themselves in majors because that's what they want to do. They want to win. He doesn't have that pressure. He's won one. He doesn't have to prove anything. So it's a lot easier to go out when you can play with a little bit more freedom than these other guys have. I mean, it's nice to play practice. It's nice to drop your daughter off at school, jump on a plane, and then go play a practice round at Augusta. Jump on your plane and go home, pick your daughter up from school. A lot of people don't have that freedom, that ability. He's earned that right.
Right.
And,
Well,
he can do that.
I'm glad you brought there was a bunch of media saying that he had an unfair advantage.
They can all
Completely
do that. Yeah,
That's
they all could have played practice rounds. They all could have taken San Antonio off and played and gone and played practice round.
Yes, and I
That's
agree.
called preparation.
It is, and you know what? He is still invited by a guest of a member of the guest as a guest at Augusta Golf Club. There is everybody else that's in that field has that ability as well. Once they're invited to that tournament, they can go as long as they're invited by a member.
Yeah.
They can go. Now they can't jump on their G5, G6 and just fly up and fly, drop their kid off at school and go play around and then come fly back. I mean, that's.
Well, I'm sure there's plenty of them that can.
I think Scotty Scheffler would be one of them.
Scotty Scheffler would be one. He's probably very disappointed after his Masters week too.
So let's get into that. So let's get into some of your biggest surprises from the Masters as we look at and we recap. We've kind of been able to digest it. Some of your biggest, surprises, whether they're good, bad, or indifferent. What were some of your takeaways from the Masters this past year?
Scotty Scheffler playing 13 and 15 in 1 over par for 4 days. I mean, if you look back and see how that tournament, he only has to play 2 or 3 under, he wins it easy. And these are like the most reachable par fives you can have on tour, basically. And he played them in 1 over par. He butchered them, played them horrible. But he also went bogey-free on the weekend, which is the first time that's happened since records have come out at the Masters that someone's gone bogey-free Saturday, Sunday. So he's obviously played well, but he just didn't take advantage of the 2 holes that you really have to take advantage of. Because I'm really not sure what Rory's numbers were on that hole, but Rory also caught a break on 15 where he laid up too, because that ball should have gone in the water with his wedge into the green.
Well, you can look at it.
He hit so bad it didn't spin.
Right. Yeah. Bryson DeChambeau.
Yeah, starting to get a little bit tired of his antics and his press conferences and things like this. It's like, yeah.
Did he
Isn't it
forget?
funny how the Masters can turn you into a different person? Most
Well, and that
happy-go-lucky, and this is why Rory is better because he knows he's won it. Bryson's putting all the pressure on himself, and I'm coming out with a 5 iron that I bloody 3D printed and stuff like that. I'm like, really? You're going to come into the Masters with that? You really think that's going to help you? Seriously? No, stop.
I think he needs to find someone that can 3D print him a better sand wedge to get him out of some of these bunkers.
Yeah, and then he was complaining about the sand in the bunker. I mean, there's one thing you don't complain about, and that's the sand at the bunker at the Masters.
The sand in the bunker at Augusta, I don't think there's a blade of grass or a grain of sand out of place at Augusta National.
Well, there's a few blades of grass out of place now where Sergio was teeing off, but that's about it.
Let's hold that because I got some notes on this. I know you like Sergio. I know you're friends with Sergio.
Mm-hmm.
But at what point are you tired of his childish antics?
I'm tired of it now.
Let me I'm not done with our surprises, but let's go into Sergio's quick meltdown. By the way, this is in his first rodeo, so to speak. Do you recall 1999 World Match Play, the shoe throw?
Yeah, I remember the shoe throw. Yes.
And for those that aren't familiar with this, after he slipped during a tee shot at Wentworth, Sergio whipped his shoe off and threw it into the gallery where it nearly hit an official, which would have been an automatic disqualification. Do you remember 2007 at Doral, the Spit?
Yeah, the Spit Cup. Yes, very good.
Spit Cup, yes. How about 2017, the Bushwhacker at the Open Championship?
Mm-hmm.
Royal
Oh, yeah.
Birkdale, Sergio took some aggression out on a gorse bush. And then also ended up getting treatment for a self-inflicted bush injury. How about the 2019? This is probably his most infamous one because this is the one where he did get suspended and disqualified from the tournament. The Green Slayer offense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, He's had a few little altercations along the way.
Not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 greens
Now
damage.
let's not carry it away. This is 5 that we know of.
Fair, fair, fair.
Who was
Okay,
the most fined who was the most fined player uh, on the PGA Tour for the longest time was Tiger Woods.
correct.
So he got
But you
more
never
fines than
heard
most.
about it. You never
Never
heard
heard
about it.
about it. The cameras were on him. He made a few misdemeanors, a few issues, and now a few others.
The bunker thrashing, which is actually what got him disqualified during that tournament. Um, the I can't wait to leave rant at the 2022 Wells Fargo. Um, the Royal Troon driver smash, and then obviously we're going to take it out on number 2T and the cooler at Augusta National.
Yeah. I
What
guarantee
what
you'll never
what
see it happen again at Augusta.
okay, so let me ask you this. I know he's come out and apologized. I know you by all accounts have said what a great guy he is.
He is.
He's a fiery Spaniard, which is what my mother told me. Um, at what point though is it enough is enough? And what
Uh,
should be the repercussions of it?
well, I know one thing: it'll never happen at Augusta again because I don't think he'll play there again if he does that again.
Yeah.
I think the people from Augusta have already made that very clear that that won't be tolerated at their golf tournament. It doesn't matter who you are, and that
Yeah.
and that's the way it should be too, because that's the way Augusta handles their business, and they handle their business very well. They handle it internally. I'm sure he had to sit down and have a meeting with the chairman and a few of the boys, and I'm sure he was read the right act, and I'm sure he left that room looking like a kid that got scolded at school. Because and he probably feels sick to his stomach about doing it there too, because yeah, that's pretty disrespectful.
Do you think that there was a fine?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Um, okay. Let me ask you this. Um, let me get your thoughts on these players. Cam Young, Russell Henley, and Haotong Lee. How would you have rated their Masters? And then also, where would you rate and how would you rate Chris Gotterup's first appearance at Augusta?
Well, Chris got her up as a great player. There is no doubt. And for the first time at Augusta, I'm sure it was very overwhelming at times, and he he handled himself beautifully. He really did. I have no problem with him. He's going to be a good player at Augusta for many years.
What about Cam Young?
Cam Young is the a virgin superstar. Handles
That's
himself beautifully. He's got a great demeanor on the golf course. Never looks flustered. Hit some really good shots. You know, even the shot he hit on 12, which Rory gave the thumbs up to, was a really nice shot as well.
does a final round like Sunday prepare him for a green jacket?
Oh, 100%. No doubt. Now he's been in the final group. He knows what it's about. Yeah, I think he's setting himself up really nicely for a really nice career. He's a nice guy too. I mean, handles himself beautifully on the golf course. Class act. Very good short game. You know, a lot of times you saw Rory putting when he was chipping, which means he's got incredible confidence in his short game, and that you've got to have that around Augusta.
Yeah. Yeah. We were I was talking with James before we jumped on, and we were talking about Cam. I think I would, if I had to bet, obviously I wouldn't have bet him to beat Rory on Sunday, head to head. I think what you said earlier about Rory is, he's playing with house money at this point. He's playing free and fearless. But he's also playing with a confidence. I know this golf course better than you do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cam Young is going to get there in the next couple of years. I don't know if I have that confidence in him. If I had to pick, am I picking Rory, Scotty, Cam Young? I don't think Cam Young is surpassing my pick of Scotty or Rory at this
No, not
point.
yet. Definitely not yet. I
Um,
mean, the pressure next year is going to be felt, but I think Rory's going to have the pressure on him next year.
oh,
To be the first man ever to win three, and he wants that. He wants that. He wants that legacy.
oh yeah.
And you don't get many chances at that. I can assure you.
No, that's going to be the one thing. I mean, this is a true opportunity. This is a goal now for him for next year.
Oh yeah,
Outside of
100%.
beating Team USA at Adair Manor, next year, 2027 is, can I three-peat as Masters champion, be the first one in tournament history?
Yeah,
Um,
and that would be nice to have on his resume. That's for sure.
Let me ask you this. And you mentioned him earlier, because you and I were texting during the tournament. Justin Rose. And let me ask you this way. Um, I want to get your assessment of Justin and how him and Fooch worked together during that tournament. And do you give Justin a chance to still win a green jacket, or was this the final shot?
No, definitely not the final shot because he plays Augusta very well. He loves the golf course. I thought him and Fooch worked pretty well. They had one little hiccup, I think, when they were indecisive of clubs and what to do and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, the player's got to be the one that hits the shot at the end. He putted badly. He putted very badly on, especially on the back nine. The three putt par that was it. That's when the wind came out of the sails. It was just that was the chance he had, I think, to really put a bit of pressure on. But at the end of the day, even Rory said it. No one really came out of the box and shot a 66 or a 65 to put pressure on him, which made it a little bit easier for Rory. But yeah, Justin's putting on the back nine was it wasn't very good at all.
Yeah, I agree. I just looked. I thought Fooch managed Justin really well. I watched a clip earlier today, of them on 17, and he literally said, "Don't be fooled by the illusions." After this is the club you need to hit, and he walked him through his yardage and everything, and it kind of gave me a little bit of it reminded me of you a lot when it was out there. You were like, here's your number. Here's what it is. This is what it's playing. This is what the wind is doing. Don't be fooled. Here's the club. Hit it.
Done.
And there's been many a times where, I know in all of our joking back and forth, during the podcast and when we're out on the court, but you've done that. You've done that to me. You've done that to Michael. Heck, you've done it to James.
Mm.
It's just that instinctive nature in a really good caddy that just you settle your player down, you stick to the number, you keep them locked in on what their goal is, and he goes and sticks it to 10 feet.
Yeah.
And then to your point, the putting let him down.
Yeah, the putting let him down. Putting, but
He
Fuch
looked.
is a great caddy. Fuch is a great caddy, and him and Rosie have a great rapport, so they trust each other emphatically.
Here's my only thought though. Like last year, I thought I thought it was Rosie's he had the best chance to win it. He looked tired on 16, 17, and 18 this year. He looked tired.
Well, I think on 16, 17, I think he at that stage, I think he realised that it had probably passed him, that he couldn't, I mean, there wasn't one birdie made on 17 on Sunday. And
Yeah.
I think he probably got to the point where it was like, I may have cooked my chances here by. He looked tired and worn out because I think he realised he'd made those mistakes earlier in the round by missing those putts
I
and
think it was
being
the
a little careless.
release. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's you get to a point where you're like, well, I probably can't win this now. Now I'm tired.
Yeah. Got it. Okay. Take your swig of water.
Well, I had a few beers last night too, so I might be a little drier this morning than I normally am.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks Scratch Kitchen scores every time. Dig into hand-smashed burgers, chef-inspired flatbreads, and more at your local lodge.
Okay. Anything else? What your last take on the 2026 Masters, and then we move on to the RBC Heritage.
It's the best 4 days in sports in the world.
I concur. I want to personally thank Brad Pendergrass and the folks at Real Jet for hosting James and I. We were invited to a fantastic Augusta Masters party with them. And then I do want to thank our folks, Justin, Katie, and Nick from Anheuser-Busch. Took us to Mick TKO House. I can tell you, James and I did not fit into that group. That was not our crowd, but we had a really good time.
Then I definitely wouldn't have fit in.
You would not have fit in. You would have fit in right with us too. They had I will say this, home handmade Cuban cigar roller, indoor simulator, and all the Mick Ultra you could drink. You would have been a happy man.
Well, I would have had one of those three. I don't do golf simulators. Not a big fan. Cigars, I've never smoked in my life, so that wouldn't have helped. But the Mick Ultra would have been, yes, perfect.
All right, let's move ahead to the plaid jacket tournament. That is the RBC Heritage. Let's do this. Couple holes restored. Obviously, the fifth hole, big one with the lagoon. Stacks, sod bunkers now. Mick, let me ask you this: because you love this golf course, what would walk me through what you would have done? You and let's just, I mean, pick one of your favorite players. Let's go, Jared Lyle. You guys were at the Masters. You're heading over to Harbor Town.
Yep.
They made a bunch of changes. Jared loves to play this golf course. What is the first thing that you are having to do when you get there?
Go check it out. Go check out the changes. See what they've butchered this time. So
They butchered.
Yeah, there's not many golf courses that I go to then when they make changes that people walk away from and go, oh, that's a great change. I think that's a great change. Most people don't like the changes they make to golf courses. And sometimes they make them because they have to. Sometimes you have to take a lot of trees out because of, sunlight that gets on fairways and things like that. And that I understand. Sometimes making change for change's sake I'm not a big fan of. Again, I haven't looked at the changes they've made. I'd be interested. I might have to. Obviously, I'll be watching the telecast and see what they've done to these holes. But they made a couple of changes here 7 or 8 years ago too, where they put some extra
Yeah,
fine greens and things like that, like they did on 2.
I guess, yeah, I think they've made some subtle changes. Obviously, it's probably has to do with irrigation or sub-air systems under some of the greens. They made some light changes to the putting surfaces. Some of them, they flattened some greens out a little bit, so they're not as elevated. So again, your approach shots are going to come in a little bit different and release a little bit differently.
Which can make for better scoring too around that golf course, because it's a very it's not a. I've seen guys play that golf course without hitting driver.
Yeah,
So,
well, that's the other thing. Like that golf course is more about precision hitting versus bomb and spray.
oh, it's a thinking man's golf course, because you have to work the ball both ways off the tee, and you have to hit it to certain parts of fairways to get good angles and things like that. So that's why I like the golf course. It's a thinking golf course. And there are some tough tee shots out there, but yeah, it's a good golf course just for that reason.
Well, before we get into we did our picks. We do it always before the tournament starts, so that way we don't have a competitive advantage, especially for those that are waking up later after the other guy.
And contrary to what people believe, just because it's Friday here doesn't mean the tournament's over here. I don't know.
Right. So. I'm actually watching the JM Eagle LA Championship up on the big screen. James has got the Golf Channel up over there. I think the Tour boys are off air at this point. Let me ask you this: Okay, obviously Scotty does. Obviously Scotty has won at Heritage. Who are some of the guys that you're watching for before we get into the picks? Who are you watching for? Who do you think is going to have a good tournament, and who do you think is just mastered out?
You can get mastered out. There is no doubt. It's a long week, and kudos to the guys that play the Masters and then run up and play the next week, because that's got to be tough. It's got to be tough to go through a strenuous, really, really rigorous week at Augusta and then, jump on a plane and go and play Hilton Head. But, again, it's a good golf course. And at the end of the day, this is your job. You got to go play. And I think Scotty, I don't know what he shot today. I haven't looked at the scores. But hopefully he got off to a better start than he normally does. But he's going to have to be right up there. The way he played at the Masters last week, I couldn't see him, faltering too much this week, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think there's a couple guys that are going to be a little bit on the tired side. I mean, obviously, looking at the leaderboard, Ludwig Oldberg seemingly found his first round swing again.
He needs to find his fourth round swing.
Wow. And there it is. Okay, let's do this. Your pick, sir. Who do you have?
I think I picked Patrick Cantley, didn't I?
You did, coming off T12 at Augusta.
After by the way, after shooting 5 over in the first round at Augusta too.
Yeah. He Patrick quietly snuck his way into a T12 there. I'm taking JT Poston. The Postman typically plays well in Harbortown. I don't think he had a very good round today. I didn't look at where.
I'm assuming by the look of that grimace on your face that he probably didn't have a very good first round today.
Well, he wasn't through 11. He wasn't doing well. He was at +2.
Yeah, he's done. Miscut.
So, okay. So, Tuesday night, if you were paying attention on X, Ryan French of the Monday Q Info dropped a bombshell. And the Financial Times confirmed PIF pivoting funds due to the Middle East conflict, war in Iran. Mick?
LIV is dead.
LIV dead.
Dead as a doornail. Gone. Over. Finished.
Now, before we go full throttle, put the nails in the coffin, Scott O'Neill did send a memo out to the players and LIV staff. They are full throttle through 2026. Mick, let me ask you this. How many guys after Mexico this week aren't going to be playing LIV
Many of them, most of them.
Let me ask
A
you
lot of
this
them.
question then, because I kind of hoped you were going to say that. Legally, had Liv folded, the legal ramifications really, the players have no legal ramifications back because the Saudi government is certainly not going to show up in a U.S. court to have a hearing. Congress couldn't even get them to come testify. But these guys would be in breach of contract, Mick.
Yeah. Good luck.
Okay, let me ask you this. Because I agree with you. This is the fact that this thing is going to die this year, and it'll be a funeral procession through the rest of this year.
Wasn't it always going to die though? What's the point of pumping so much billions of dollars into something you're not getting an investment return on?
So, well, that's from a business standpoint, it makes absolutely no sense. We have said that repeatedly on this podcast, and there's a lot of other smart people that do what we do, whether they're on broadcast radio, they're on satellite radio, they do podcasts, they do Instagram posts. The business strategy, the business model did not work. We can all agree to that. Way I'm looking at it, and I heard, and I'm drawing a blank on his name. He was on with Dan Rappaport the other day. The good part, let's look at what the positive is. LIV helped reshape the PGA Tour to a better tour.
No doubt.
And is in a better place moving forward outside of the financial side of it, because I don't think even the financial model for the PGA Tour is sustainable over a long period. $20+ million purses is going to be tough with businesses, especially going through what everybody's going through right now. That's a challenging proposition to be throwing at companies right now. Where do you see, let me ask you this. Obviously, DJ is a life member of the PGA Tour based on wins and everything else. Does Dustin Johnson return to the PGA Tour, or do you think Dustin Johnson is going to kind of just hang it up and maybe you may see him on the Champions Tour at some point?
No, PGA Tour for sure.
You think he comes back to the PGA Tour?
Yep, 100%.
Okay. Phil is a lifelong member of the PGA Tour based on wins. Does Phil Mickelson play another PGA Tour sanctioned event?
No, he's done.
Okay.
I think he's burned too many bridges. He's burned a few bridges along the way, but if he serves his time, he can come back and play. But I don't think he will.
So, I don't disagree. I'm going to just say that right there. I agree with you on this. But Brian Rolapp is not the guy that he burned the bridge with.
No.
He burned the bridge with Jay Monahan and the old regime of the PGA Tour. He burned bridges with a lot of players.
Yeah, a lot of players probably wouldn't want Phil back.
And I think that a lot of the older brass where he would have to end up playing, which would be the Champions Tour, is probably where his issues are going.
I think he would end up at the Champions Tour. I mean, is Phil going to bring the people back through the gates when he tees it up? No, probably not.
Do you think that many fans are?
Phil's had his time.
Does he have a renovation, rejuvenation?
Phil's had his time. He's done.
Let me ask you this: Terrell Hatton, Joaquin Niemann, Harold Varner III, Anthony Kim. That's it. So I kind of put Anthony Kim in a different, Abraham Answer, Peter Uihlein, Lucas Herbert, Thomas Dietrich.
That's Lucas Herbert, by the way. He's Australian.
Herbert. Sorry, I'm going by Hebert. That's
you're thinking like Bobby Hebert and the quarterback and.
Yeah, your guy, good friends of
Cam Smith.
Yeah, good Cam Smith. Cam Smith falls in a different category. Cam Smith falls under that. Still
Won
has
a major.
eligibility because of his major.
He's also missed the cut in 5 straight majors now.
I didn't say he's playing great golf. He's
He's playing
happier
horrible golf.
fishing.
Since he went to LIV, he's sucked.
Hey, listen, John Rahm's track record isn't looking too much better.
No, another one.
And obviously Bryson. Those guys still would have qualified. They were offered back in January by Brian Rolap. What do you think that penalty is going to look like now? I know you were very unhappy with what Brooks had to endure. What do you think that penalty is going to look like now?
Something very similar.
Do you think it's
I think it's
similar, or
going
do
to
you
be.
think it's even a little bit harsher?
It could be even harsher now because now you've got nowhere to play, so it could be even harsher now. And there will be resentment from players on the tour when they come back. I can assure you.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to throw out some really young players that went over there. They never had their tour card. Michael Lasasso, Caleb Surratt, Josel Ballister, the young Spaniard that just played in the Masters last year, David Puig, Tom McKibben, Elvis Smiley, the Aussie, who joined Cam Smith. Let me ask you this. Where do these guys fall? Where do they end up at?
They're going to have to start. They're going to have to reinvent their careers again. They're going to have to do the hard yards. Start again.
Do you think they have to go through Q school, or do you think they're going to
100%.
get a exemption into Corn Ferry?
Q school.
You think Q school?
Yeah, Q school. There's no way they're just going to let them walk onto the Corn Ferry Tour, and neither they should.
I see where you're going with it. I'm looking at these guys a little bit differently. I think these are the future stars of the PGA Tour. I think they may be a little bit more lenient on them. I don't think they're going to be in any part of the rev share. And I think that's the part where these guys are going to have to really think about it. Let me ask you this, Mick. Where do you see the benefits here? Here's what I'm going to ask you. Obviously, this will benefit the PGA Tour because you're going to get superstars like Terrell Hatton, Joaquin Niemann, and Thomas Dietrich and Bryson, Rahm back, right? Cam Smith if he chooses to play instead of Fish. DP World Tour. How does this? I mean, what is the impact immediately for them? And do some of these guys go to the DP World Tour?
Yeah, they can go play. I think it would benefit the DP World Tour. 100%. 100%. I mean, these are good players, and people want to watch them play. Now, because LIV is falling apart. Okay, these are still great players, and people want to watch them.
Well, and that's what I know. You just mentioned the young guys having go back through Q school, but don't forget about the Sunshine Tour, the PGA Tour, Australasia, and that's a big one. Latin American Tour, the Asian Tour, the Japanese Tour. I mean, there's a lot of really good tours out there that are still viable options for these guys to earn their cards, eventually back on to the PGA Tour.
Well, that's the way they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to grind. They're going to have to do the hard yards to get back to where they were.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at Michael Lasasso. I feel horrible for this kid. He was sold, and I get it. He made the money. He made the decision. Life has consequences to decisions. I get that. 21 years of age. He gave up his 2026 Masters spot to join the High Flyers. Caleb Surratt, another young kid that went right from college over to John Rahm's Legion team. These are the kids, though, that I'm looking at going, man, do you blame the agent? Or do you say, hey, kid, these are the risks? And did they have these conversations? And everybody thought.
The agent's going to do what's probably best for the agent. Sometimes that's what happens. And, the agent's going to make a hell of a lot more money by sending players to LIV than he was, hey, let's just do this the hard way. I think they took the easy way to take that money. If they had really thought about it, they probably would have known that LIV was never going to be around for 100 years. They probably should have put a little more deeper thought into it, where they wanted their careers to go. Was it about their career? Was it about the money? And I think for these guys, it was more about the money than their careers.
Yeah, I think they took the easier road, and now it's going to really be the harder road.
Yeah.
But at least
Well,
they have
they're
some
gonna
money
have-
in their pocket, though, that they're not going to live, tournament to tournament and
Exactly right.
struggling.
They have They have money now to help them, start again. So
Yeah.
there is that sign.
Okay. My last segment.
I know we're running
How
at
are
45
you
minutes.
doing?
I'm doing great, mate.
How's
Got my
Dad?
Dad is sitting over there doing great. We had a couple of beers and a Jameson together last night. We're going along beautifully.
Things are good. What else
Things are
is
good
new?
here. Things are good here in Faulkner in Melbourne. Things are good. Weather's starting to get a little chilly, but that's okay. It's not like cold where Atlanta cold. But
Have you had a chance to go play?
no, I have not played. My clubs are just sitting in my bedroom, sitting there. I've sent out a couple of messages. Probably the next couple of weeks, I'll probably play.
Well, I will tell you, your contingency here misses you.
Yeah, I know. I get messages every day, my friend. Trust me. I miss them
I
too. Don't
know.
worry.
Um,
I've only had one shot since I've been back.
you said that word. You're gonna have to do another one tonight. Then
I've only done one shot since I've been back, so my liver's thanking me.
that's two.
Mm-hmm. I've got diplomatic immunity now.
You did. You did what? You've done a little one so far,
A
as you
short thing.
would say.
A short thing.
Well, okay. So here's the game plan for next week. You and I will jump on during the week, and we are going to record for the team tournament next week.
Yeah.
There in Louisiana, TPC Baton Rouge.
What a great event. If you talk
You
about
love this event.
some good food on the range, I'll tell you.
Food on the range.
Damn.
We're gonna get onto that. Chris Fortney is going to join me on Friday. We're going to do a special edition from the Miracle for Mom tournament. We're going to talk about how should a player such as you or I prepare for golf tournaments, but also should we shape our games between playing in scrambles as well as playing in our regular rounds with our buddies, like you like to play your one-on-ones and your team matchups, your matches, as they would say over in Europe. And then on Saturday, I am going to be joined by Chris and Joe Davis from ATL Golfs. We're going to be at the Mitsubishi Electric Classic presented by Venture. We're going to be cheering on our guy, Stuart Sink, in the Stableford scoring system this year.
There you go.
Mick, I've got a big week ahead of me
You
next
do
week.
have a big week of golf.
And
I'll
I'm
just be
going
kicking
to
back
fit
here in
in.
Australia.
I'm going to fit in a round of golf. And guess what, my friend?
You're going to use your dad's clubs.
I'm playing Dad's clubs. Fortney is re-gripping them. I've got some beautiful grips that look like some 2025, 26 Masters champion. That's right. I'm going white and black Golf Pride grips on the Ping Zings. So I'm looking
I wore
forward
this
to
hat today because Fortney hates it. So I just thought I'd wear that today. He hates this hat. So.
I love that hat. It's one of my favorites. Well, sir.
All right.
Now, Dad, we said hello. I'm glad you are safe and sound back in Australia.
I'm gonna buckle up on the couch here in a minute, put a blanket over me, and watch TV with Dad.
There you go. Enjoy your Friday, sir. There in Australia. I am going to go pick up the little one, and we are heading home, and we're gonna enjoy dinner on a Thursday night. So
enjoy, buddy.
Thanks for teeing up with us on Tales from the Tips. If you're catching us on YouTube, make sure you give us a like, hit that subscribe button, drop us a comment, let us know how you're doing. We love to hear from you. You can find every episode of Tales from the Tips wherever you find your favorite podcast. Apple, Spotify, YouTube, and of course, we are now available on iHeart Podcasts. Just search Tales from the Tips under podcasts. Hit the plus button, the subscribe button. There is Dad, Mr. Middlemo. Thank you, sir. He makes a cameo this week.
Little cameo appearance.
You can find us on all the socials, Instagram, X, and your favorite
TikTok.
TikTok, that's right. And you can watch this debacle live on Twitch.
Twitch.
Just follow us on Twitch. Tales from the Tips Pod is where you can find us. Mick,
Yes, sir.
I can't wait to talk to you next week. We'll figure out who's wearing a tartar jacket after this week's Heritage Classic. And we get ready for some tour team play. Looking forward to it.
Yes. Yep, me too.
Keep your
I'm going to
drive
go back and
straight,
watch it.
your
Just
putt
about to
short,
go watch
and
golf
scores
on
low.
TV now.
We'll see you next time on Tales from the Tips.